Hey guys, welcome back. If this is your first time here, I'm Neil, the Adventurous Investor. On this channel, talk all things investing. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, hit that like button, and if you want to see some more videos moving forward like this, then hit that subscribe button and you'll be the first to know when the next video drops. Alright guys, today we're going to be looking at Phil Town's Payback Time. The famous American investor, he's written a number of good books. And he has a really good podcast called Investor that he does with his daughter Danielle Town, where they sort of, well, she more roasts him than anything. But yeah, really good podcast. I highly recommend his books and both the podcast as well. I really like his writing style and just the way he has his own YouTube channel as well, which I highly recommend. I'll leave a link to both the podcast and everything in the description below, so check that out. But today we're going to be talking about Payback Time. This is something he's actually read a whole book on Payback Time. I haven't actually read the Payback Time book. I've read Rule 1 Investing, which is also a great book. I highly recommend the book as well. And I'm almost just about to finish Invested, which is more written by Danielle Town, which is sort of going along her investing journey, learning from her father, Phil Town, obviously, and sort of, what things that she was going with along the way and the struggles and her, being a bit scared and nervous investing in the market and all that sort of thing. But I just find Phil Town's books really easy to understand, and his writing style is so easy to comprehend. He doesn't come from an academic background or anything. He was actually in the army for a number of years, did a couple of tours to Vietnam. From there, went on to guide river trips down the Grand Canyon. And I can just really relate to his sort of work history, let's say. I've never really talked about this on the channel before, but I was actually in the army for about 4 years, and then went on to travel a fair bit for a number of years as well, and went on to actually raft for 3 seasons in Canada in the rivers in northern Alberta, which was great, really good gig. So I don't know, I just sort of really like his work history, and I can relate to his writing style and some of the things he refers to, especially when he talks about some army terms and windage and growth rates and things. I don't know, I can really relate to his style, let's say. But that's just me. But anyway, I think anyone can really just pick up his books and really sort of get a good, handle and understand what he's talking about. And you can apply some of these really good fundamental, value-based investing strategies to your own investing style. But like I said, today we're going to be focusing on payback time. How long it will take for you to recoup your initial investment. And we're going to be using A2 Milk as an example, okay? Rule1investing.com. This is Phil Town's website. I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything with this. It's a great resource to, he has some great calculators and things on his website. He also has some good little investment training courses here, more suited for beginners. Bit of history about him. Goes into his podcast and the toolbox section over here on the far right as well, where he has a paid component to his website. I think it's $30 or $39 a month, which is all the things and analysts of businesses that he analyzes and things. And if you want to go a bit further after reading the book, then you go in there and all the fundamental analysis and all the margin of safety is applied to all the different stocks that you're wanting to look at. Anyway, we're going to be going into resources here today, and we're going to go investing calculators. So we'll open that up. And I recommend you guys get on here yourself and have a little bit of play around, but we're just going to run down here. Here's all the different calculators he's got here. So if you want to work out any of these things for your own investing, then I definitely recommend jumping on here. It's all free to use all these different calculators on here. But this is the one we're going to be going for today, and that is the Payback Time calculator here. Calculate PBT. So open that up. Okay, so this calculator determines the number of years it would take the earnings of the company to cover the cost of the stock price you paid. So here we are. We need to find the EPS. And we're going to be using A2 Milk as the example today. So I'm just going to be pulling that straight off Yahoo here. So here we are, the A2 Milk Company Limited. This is listed on the ASX and the NZX, but we're using the ASX today. And as of right now, it's trading at $13.45. Scroll down, we're on the financials section, and we're going to be looking at the income statement. We're going to carry on down here. And this is what we're looking for, the basic EPS and the diluted EPS. We're going to be taking the diluted EPS, earnings per share. We're going to copy that one there. If you've got the two options, the basic and the diluted, I would always favor the diluted. This covers any options or warrants, anything that, but as you can see, they're all pretty similar. So we're going to grab that there, 52 cents. I'm going to go back to our calculator and input that there. Now, growth rate. This is something that you need to do a lot of work on to really establish a good growth rate of what you think that the company will produce in the future years. But we're going to be having a look here just for the purpose of this. We're going to use the analyst recommendation. So we'll scroll down. So they're saying that the company's going to grow at 25%. We might scale that back to 20% just to give ourselves a margin of safety. Whenever you're doing with your calculations, guys, I would use err on the side of caution rather than the opposite. It's easy to skew your numbers a bit if you start favouring and jacking things up and rounding things up a bit. Always sort of round down when you're looking at doing these sort of calculations. It's not a exact science. It's more of a calculated guess, let's say. And then the stock price. So we'll go back to A2. And that is right now $13.42. So let's plug that in there. So they're currently saying the payback time is 9 years. That's at a growth rate of 20%. Let's try that at 25%. And then we've got that at 8 years. Okay. That's if it gets those returns of 25%. But they have, let's cross out of that one. They have recently downgraded their estimated growth rates. So I think 20 or even 15 would be more realistic. We'll go with 20% today. And just a little thing down the bottom here, guys. This is what Philtown likes to see his companies that he's looking at to have the payback time that is less than 8 years. So either at 8 years or less than 8 years. So with this thing, you can start playing around with trying to get the price that you're happy to pay for the company if you're trying to get that payback time to 8 years or below. So with this, you can say, okay, so let's say the company grows at 20%. We're going to need to pick the shares up for, oh, nope, still nope. We're going to have to maybe go $10, we'll see. So here we have it, $10 a share at a 20% growth rate at 52 cents earnings per share. We will have our calculated guess of payback time of 8 years. So I recommend you guys jump in here and have a play yourself as well. You know, not just with A2, but any other companies that you're looking at investing. There's also another great way to sort of try and get a value of a company. I prefer the discounted cash flow analysis. I've done another video on that, so check that out. But that's more Monish Pabrai's sort of style, and I'm sort of trying to mimic a lot of his investing strategies. But this is also another thing to use and have in your toolbox. Anyway, guys, we'll wrap that one up there. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the analysis there of A2 and the payback time that Philtown likes to use when he's trying to get an intrinsic value of a business. I personally like to use Monish Pabrai's discounted cash flow analysis. Find it a bit better for my own investing. But also, this is another great tool to have in the toolbox as well when you're trying to establish, the payback time of how long it will take for you to recoup your initial investment. Philtown likes to use 8 years as his sort of benchmark. He wants to have the investment paid back within 8 years. But if you're comfortable with 10 or 15 or whatever or 5 or whatever you want to do, then by all means knock yourself out. Definitely recommend jump on, check out his website. Got a number of different calculators there. Has a great toolbox section as well, which he goes into a lot of things that he talks about in his books. And you get to see all this put into action in real companies and things, let's say. And then the margin of safety applied, 50% applied to all the different valuations and all the growth rates and all the different payback times and everything within the toolbox there. I initially signed up to the free version there for the 30 days. I haven't actually jumped in and signed up to the pay version yet, but he may get me. Time will tell. But there's a lot of different places on the internet where you can get a lot of this information for free, so probably not. But definitely recommend jumping in on and checking out his podcast as well. The podcast with Danielle Town and Phil Tam is really good. It's called Invested. Highly recommend that as well. And yeah, like I said earlier on, all his books are good. I haven't read Payback Time yet, but it's definitely on the list. I probably will read it at some point. But yeah, Rule 1 Investing is a really good book. Gives good basic sort of fundamental stuff you can look at when trying to analyse businesses and whether trying to get a good gauge on the value and whether you're buying it below the intrinsic value. Anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, and you got some value from it, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you want to see some more videos like this moving forward, then hit that subscribe button and you'll be the first to know when the next video drops. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll catch you later. See ya.